plaintiff, Joel Grahowski, rented a room in the defendant's home, and within days of moving in, she invited him to a psychic convention. Joel then discovered that she was a heavy drinker, and she kicked him out after falsely accusing him of stealing her dog's pain medication. He's suing for an illegal eviction and a rent refund. Defendant Josephine Ivica says Joel is a con man and a thief who misrepresented himself when they first met. Josephine claims after Joel moved in, she discovered he was a heroin addict, and then he started stealing her and her dog's pain medication. She's countersuing for pain and suffering.
Start with you.
I met Miss Ivica approximately the middle of March. I had went to her house. I had seen the room. We came to an agreement to rent the room, and I had signed a month-to-month notice. Approximately 3 or 4 days later, I had gotten in contact with her. She had asked me if I wanted to attend a psychic convention with her. At that time, I thought that was a little weird.
She's a psychic?
A psychic convention.
She is a psychic?
She claims to hear spirits, or talks to spirits, sure.
Okay. Predict the future?
I don't know about lottery numbers, anything like that, but...
How about case results in the court? You gonna win? Did you go?
Yes, I did. Yes.
What was it like?
It was weird. It was like a Twilight Zone.
Did you have a bunch of psychics sitting around?
It wasn't so much psychics as it was people who play bowls. They take a stick and they rub a bowl and certain sounds and rocks that have power. I didn't get a full understanding of it. You probably could ask Miss Ivica.
Yeah, tell me what that's about.
It's, Your Honor, this is an alternative healing methods. There are things such as Reiki and quantum touch and things like that that people practice, and it's I believe that there is other methods of pain management, because I suffer from pain management, that there's other methods other than drug use.
Right. You think it works?
It works for me, sir.
Okay. No, I've heard a lot of folks say that works, so it's not psychic at all.
It has to do with alternative medicines.
Right, okay.
We'll get to the psychic part in a second.
Okay, go ahead.
Miss Ivica had a friend from childhood, college years, who had passed away in 2010. And she told me on a daily basis that this person used to sit in the same room with her and give her advice, or she would take her camera into the yard and take pictures of orbs and see how many spirits are around. She would talk to her animals.
Deceased animals?
No, the animals are still alive, sir.
Everybody does.
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't, I wouldn't hear them.
You don't talk to your dogs?
I don't have animals, sir.
Oh, when you get one, you should talk to your dog, doctor. Because you're going to have some problems. You say, stop. You say, no. Otherwise, you're going to have some problems. Go ahead.
I'm thinking the Twilight Zone already. Okay. Then, when you add a half of a liter, 1.75 of Canadian Mist every day.
Every day?
Every day. It just adds to it. Spirits become clearer to her.
Yeah, it's all clear to me now, so it's called Trump.
Okay, I got you, sir.
You want to answer to this?
Your Honor, I think he just isn't understanding the realm of this. The fact that I think we all have contact with our friends. If you've lost a family member or a friend, sometimes you can listen, you can hear their voices, you can remember conversations you've had. It's your own memories. It's our basic memories.
All right, and then there are supernatural occurrences that many people believe in. We're going to get to the rent and the security deposit and the eviction shortly, but anything else you want to tell me before I go to her for background?
First of all, I'm not an angel, Your Honor. I do have a past. I just am in a place now where I just prefer to leave that behind me.
Okay.
Well, like you said, the alcohol causes a lot of the problems. And
you think she needs treatment?
I believe so.
Okay. How much do you drink a day?
A day?
Yes.
It's not every day, sir.
Okay. Well, you're all right, man. All right. Let me hear from you. Give me some background before we get to the rent he's suing you about.
Well, let me start from the beginning, sir. There's no way I'd ever invite someone to move into my home again without doing a thorough background check. When Joel answered my ad on Craigslist, I had no idea at that point that he would be anything close to a heroin addict, a con man, or a thief. Represented himself as a professional plumber and electrician. He said his brother and he had a business that they were in the process of selling. I live out in a beautiful country home. I have several acres. And he said that he was feeling comfortable out there. Come to find out, he's hiding out. The police report that I filed on the day
But I want to stop you because he said he had a past, but is this somehow relevant?
Sir,
does this have to do with perhaps the eviction?
Sure, it does, sir.
Okay.
The fact that he has a history and the fact that there are drugs missing from my house.
So y'all both dope fiends.
No, sir.
You say he likes heroin, and you have heroin missing from your house.
I don't have heroin missing from my house, sir. I have prescription drugs for pain management.
Oh, okay, that's right. You do have chronic pain. I'm sorry. Sir, you want to tell me about any of this that she's making reference to?
I would love to. First of all, she came home one day from work. She said she had a bag from Kmart. It had prescription pills in it, and she didn't know what she did with it. I helped her look. Besides pain medication, she has lost envelopes. She has lost mail. She has lost many other things. Finally, on May 2nd is when she accused me of stealing animal medication.
What type of animal medication is it?
I had a 13-year-old lab who had severe arthritis and was also on some pain medication for her arthritis.
You stole the dog's pain pills?
Yes, sir, I believe he did. He was the only one who had access to my house.
What's the rent for, sir? How does she owe you for a rent refund? Tell me what happened.
On April 1st, I gave her $350 for rent, which was what she was asking for per month. I gave her $175 towards a security, which I asked her before I moved in if I could pay in 2 months. I also gave her $75 for things she had purchased while I was staying there. While I was staying there, I replaced her sump pump twice. I painted her kitchen, and I did not get to her ceiling. The ceiling still has to be done. I've done many things. She used to leave me notes every day before work.
Was there an agreement regarding that in terms of abating the rent?
No, I paid my rent, sir.
Okay, so why are you
Respectfully,
mentioning
sir,
this?
It was part of the agreement, and I have the Craigslist ad right here.
Let's see it, please. That's why I thought you were mentioning it for some reason. How's it relevant otherwise? You're fixing those things. Was help with yard and housework.
Okay.
Just told me it wasn't. Go ahead, sir.
Anyways, I'm sorry, I forgot where I was at. But anyways.
No problem. You were saying that, I forgot to.
Okay, the things I had done. I raked the leaves in the front and the backyard. They had not been done for 3 years before
Got that part. How does she owe you for a refund?
May 1st, I gave her another $175. Because I was only going to...
Sir, that's
Okay,
not
go
true.
ahead, sir.
I gave her $175 April 1st, $175 May 1st.
Why does she owe it back to you?
Because I was evicted on the 2nd of May.
There you go.
I was evicted on the 7th.
That's what I'm waiting to hear.
And also, it was illegal eviction. She never filed papers. She had
Tell me
Portage
how
County.
the eviction occurred.
She came home from work at about 3 o'clock with Portage County Sheriff. They told me she had filed a complaint, and I was asked to leave. I had to live on the streets for a few days until I could reach an old friend and stay with him.
Okay, and what was the complaint?
Animal medication missing.
Okay. Go ahead, ma'am. Tell me about the illegal eviction he's alleging. That's the crux of the case.
There
Go
was
ahead.
twice in the 3 to 4 weeks before the 2nd of May that I had found prescriptions missing out of my cabinet. There was no way to prove that he took them other than the fact that he was the only one who had access to my house at any point. The 2nd of May was the day that I found my 13-year-old dog's prescriptions missing. She's my baby. She was mine all my life. I watched her be born, and she was in a lot of pain. And I thought to myself, this is ridiculous. You can steal from me, but don't steal from my dog. And I went to work that morning in tears. I cried most of the morning. I got my job done. At lunch, I went down to the Portage County Sheriff's Department and filed a complaint.
Okay. Have you ever been on heroin?
Have I ever?
Yes, sir.
No.
You ever been addicted to painkillers?
And when I was younger, yes.
Younger as in what age? What was the...
17 to 25.
Okay. Ma'am?
Your Honor, I have the documentation that he is a heroin addict.
I see it. What documentation is this from? Dispatch informed officers that Grochowski had a warrant out for his arrest in Milwaukee County. Police conducted a search of the vehicle he was driving and found numerous syringes. Grochowski told officers that in the past he had used them for IV drugs. Did that happen?
Yes, sir.
And then the officer says they ask you to pull up your shirt sleeves, and officers observed that Grochowski had fresh track marks on his arms that were consistent with IV drug use. In their search, officers also found needles, cotton balls, cups with burnt material on them, and elastic straps. You know that's clear heroin use.
Sir, there's others. There's drug paraphernalia in another case. There is vehicle theft, retail theft, eviction.
All happened before he was 25?
No, not all of it.
No.
I know not all of it, even though you tried to give me that
Operating
impression.
while suspended. He's a con man and a thief, and he's good at what he does.
He cons you.
He did.
Cons you.
Not that good.
He did. He did that, sir.
I'm looking at something, someone else sent you something. Another woman said, you have no idea what you got yourself into by having that dude at your house. He's a heroin addict.
That was in April, sir.
I hope Joe takes you for all you got. What's she mad at you for?
She wanted Joel to get a hold of her because he stole money from her as well, and I was supposed to have Joel get a hold of her to give her her money
So
back.
she's mad because you wouldn't help her get her money.
That's probably right.
All right, gotcha. Ma'am, your counterclaim is for what? Pain and suffering,
$1,000 for expenses. The fact that I had him taken away on the 2nd of May because of the drug theft, and I was afraid for my health and safety as well as that of my dogs and that of possibly my house. I found burnt magazines in my garage. The fact that I had to replace my prescriptions, the fact that I had to have my doctor look at the
You had to
theft
watch your
report,
dog suffer.
the time that I had to take off of work to make sure that things were taken care
You're
of.
proving a case of pain and suffering. Sir, do you want to take a drug test, or you're still on heroin, or
No, I'm not.
you want to take a drug test?
Sure.
And if you are found to have drugs in your system, you want to go to rehab?
No.
All right, good enough. So no need to take drug tests. That was the only interest I'd have, is getting you some help if you needed it. But you said even if whatever the result, you don't want no help. You ain't going no rehab. So I understand. With regard to your complaint, sir, you perjured yourself about using heroin, and you said you hadn't used any painkillers either since age 25. Didn't you have a former friend, or a lady friend, if you will, that's saying you're nothing but a heroin addict? You have arrest record. Therefore, I'm going to dismiss your claim and grant her pain and suffering for all that you took her and her dogs through. Have a good day. Judgment for the defendant.
I just want him out of my life. I don't want him anywhere near me. He does have a warrant out for his arrest in Oak Creek, Wisconsin, and I think they should come and get him and put him where he belongs, in jail.
I have absolutely nothing to say.
Plaintiff Ansel Carpenter rented a room in his home to the defendant, but he claims she turned out to be a prostitute, and he has the text messages to prove it. Ansel is suing his former tenant for 2 months of rent, late fees, and utilities. Defendant Divine McDuffie insists Ansel's claims are false, and she has never worked as a prostitute in her life. Divine is countersuing because she claims Ansel broke into her room with a sledgehammer and destroyed her property.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you, sir.
Okay. Divine here is a former tenant of mine.
Did you all know each other before?
No.
Okay.
She was referred by another tenant.
All right.
So she's not a very good tenant. Came to my attention via her roommates that she was prostituting out of
How
her
long
bedroom.
after
That is
she
a
moved
lie.
in? Hold on, ma'am. How long after moving in that you determined she wasn't a good tenant?
Almost 2 months after she had
Okay.
moved.
She moved in when?
Let's see. The lease agreement right here says June 11th.
All right. So June 11th moved in, and by August you determined she wasn't a good tenant,
Yeah, August 2nd.
and that was based on the allegations or the rumors that you heard?
No, it actually started because she felt like she was being charged too much for her bedroom.
Okay.
And basically tried
Let's
to...
get back to this prostitution inflammatory allegation you're making here. That's very inflammatory. I see why you're getting sued for emotional distress. It should be defamation unless you can have some reasonable cause to say that. Where do you get this information from? Is it a rumor or?
No, it's not a rumor. Like, her roommates said that there was several men coming in and out of the apartment. It's a 3-bedroom unit, so they said there would be several men waiting in the living room while they're like cooking
That's a
breakfast
complete
or
lie.
whatever.
Oh, ma'am.
And
what?
there would be other men in her bedroom. And then one man leave the bedroom, and then another one go from the living room into her bedroom, and it was just a revolving door regularly.
Okay, that could be that she's a freak.
Yeah,
That
I
make
thought
her a
so.
prostitute. She may be a freak.
I thought
You're a
so.
freak or prostitute? Just kidding, I'm just messing. I'm just using an example.
Yeah.
As how can you conclude, or she could be a loose. I'm just saying the options. There are many other options. She could be a loose woman. She could be a gambler, and they come in there and they lose their money real quick because they think she's a woman and they can beat her, and she could be a scammer.
He's the scammer.
She could be a counselor, counseling with them. She could be in the ministry,
preaching.
reading the Bible when they
Amen,
come in.
hallelujah.
Yeah.
You might be in trouble, but she didn't sue you for that, but you better be careful with that. But nonetheless, what happened on August 2nd?
So, well, first off, in regards to the prostitution, I actually have proof right here, page 2 and 3.
You have proof. Mm-hmm. All right. So you saw somebody spend some money with her? Because prostitution
you'll see
is an
text-
exchange of money.
Right.
All
You'll
right.
see text messages.
You read them.
I texted her from a friend's phone, posing as a John, basically. I texted her, hey, can I see you tonight? She says yes. I responded, I'll call okay. She responded, I'm only doing in-calls tonight, hun. I replied, okay, can we do 9? She says, sure. I asked, what are your rates? She says, $150 an hour for full service. I responded, that's fine, just to try and make it even more explicit.
Can I object?
Hold on, man.
In terms of what's actually going on, I responded, do you do? She said, no, I'm not going to get into what means. I then replied, what about? She replied, no, anything we do has to be with a condom. What if I pay more? Could we do it without a condom? She said no. Okay, that's fine. Just text me the address and I'll come there at 9. And then she sent the address. Text me when you're here and I'll let you through. Oh, she spelled through wrong. The gate. Okay, unit number 7102. Okay, see you then.
Okay. You want to say anything to that?
Yeah, he just completely falsified evidence, and I'm 100% sure you're not allowed to do that. Like, that's why,
Why
he
you
wanted
lying?
to. Huh?
Why are you lying?
I'm not lying. Why would anybody?
Okay.
Why would anybody? If I get a number, if I get a text message from a random number, mind you, I do YouTube, like social media, Instagram, TikTok, stuff like that. If anybody has
hobby?
my, what?
You do that as a hobby?
That's not a hobby. I actually
What
get
do you
paid.
do
No,
on
you
here?
don't.
I do like prank videos, vlogs. I do like trips,
As a hobby.
eating,
Okay.
stuff like
Oh,
that.
she tricks, all
And
right.
you're saying that you don't, this wasn't something that you
No,
did?
that's a complete lie. He's lying. And a matter of
Okay.
fact, I changed my number shortly
All right.
after.
Okay.
Number one.
You have any other evidence?
No, sir.
Okay. Now let's move on. What do you want to say she said to you on August 2nd?
On August 2nd, she wasn't pleased with the rate that she was paying, even though she had already signed a lease agreement, which is on page 1.
When did these texts come, by the way?
August 6th.
Okay. August
Before she
2nd.
changed her number for the
Pardon
record.
me?
Before she changed her
All right,
record.
August 6th.
For the record.
So August, and that's when you found, when did you find out?
I found out August 2nd that she was tricking us.
Okay, August 2nd, you found that out. How did you find out?
Her roommates told me.
Okay, and this happens to be the same day that she comes to you with a complaint, huh?
Mm-hmm.
The same day. All right, that's when you suddenly determined she's a prostitute. Move on. She came to you and said she was dissatisfied with what?
The rate that she was paying.
Okay, and what did you tell her?
I told her the time to negotiate was prior to her sending a contract.
I agree. Let's hear from you, ma'am, about approaching him August 2nd and what happened.
Okay, so I originally had spoke to him about the price I was paying because he actually had a partner, I guess he does business with. He came without telling us to come show the apartment to different, future tenants. So they asked, can they show my room? I was like, can I get a second to clean my room up a little bit? I still allowed them to come show everyone. As they were showing everyone on page 9, you can see, July 13th, I texted him because the person that he sent to show them my bedroom, I had the master bedroom, he was telling everyone that came in that it was $850. I pay $9.95 plus utilities. So they were asking me how much are utilities and such. I'm just like, I'm not sure. Y'all getting told a different price. So I texted him, asking him that day, why were they being told a different price? He said that his business partner, he said that he was telling them the wrong rent price. But then I actually met another tenant in the exact same apartment complex with the master bedroom as well, and they were paying $850. So August 2nd, he texted me because I had a lot going on, like basically my ex that day had came and slashed my tires. So August 2nd, he texted me saying, hey, did you get my group text? And I called him and I asked him again, does everyone with the unit pay the same price? He says yes. So I tell him that I actually know a tenant that is actually renting with you now and has been paying $850, and they were actually paying $800 and you raised it to $850. Whole while you're charging me $9.95. That very much upset him. He immediately started calling me out my name and started arguing with me. I hung up the phone. I was out getting my tires fixed that day. So the day I brought that up to him, though, he came and sledgehammered my door in because he got mad that I even asked him the question. Okay, so August 2nd, I never told him that I was not going to pay him. I never said I wasn't going to pay him that price before he came into my room and sledgehammered my door, threw all my stuff into trash bags, put my cat in a cage, and destroyed my bed frame and destroyed all my property that was in my room. The same day that I asked him. I also have a video of what my room looked like.
Let me ask you, sir, first, you're suing for August and September?
Yeah, the rent, utilities, and the late fees, yeah.
All right, and when did she move?
When did she move out?
Yes.
September
7th,
something like that, yeah.
Okay, and she had not paid August rent?
Or September, no.
Okay, and is that true? You did not pay August or September rent?
No, sir. My door was broken into. I didn't even sleep there. I was just worried about
occurred
getting my
August
stuff.
2nd, so.
Right.
All right. And so we can get back now to the allegations that you broke down the door, she says, with a hammer or a sledgehammer or something.
A sledgehammer, yes.
Destroyed her property. What do you want to say to that?
Lies.
Okay, so you didn't do anything
No,
in
sir.
retaliation?
No, sir.
All right, and you never entered her room without her permission?
Correct.
All right. And do you have any evidence that he did?
Yes, so I have text messages that my roommate actually sent him during that day.
What page?
Page 17. Also,
Okay.
and
Did they change the doorknob back? What are you referring to?
he also, when he came to the apartment, he changed the front doorknob to a lock doorknob. At first, it was a regular.
So how is that relevant? You didn't get a key?
Yeah, they were locked out. My other roommates were locked out, and that's why.
How about you? Were you locked out?
Yes, I wasn't. I
Okay.
wasn't able to get in.
Wow, that's ridiculous. This is you talking the other? Okay. So we could get locked out again, you say. I'm sure it was to lock you out. And you say, yeah, that's crazy. She says, scary. He told me he would kill someone over $500. You ever tell anyone that?
No.
Okay. I owe him more than that. Then she laughs. You say, WTF, what the, kill? And she says, kill.
So I also have a witness statement on page.
Who is the witness? Who is it?
Destiny Sheets.
What's your association with them?
She's a roommate. She stayed there.
There you go. What page? She was there when this alleged incident occurred? Maybe say she had to see it. Was she there?
Yeah, she was there.
She was a tenant.
She was a tenant.
What
she was
page
living
is
there.
that on?
She was not a tenant. That was my tenant's daughter.
Okay. What page is that on?
It is on page 5, I believe.
Okay, so the tenant's daughter said the night of August 2nd, and so Carpenter entered the apartment, which I stayed with my mother at the time. Carpenter had spoken to my mother prior to him arriving, and once he got there, he also arrived with another person and tried to enter Divine's room, but the door was locked. Ansel insisted on moving her out that night. Did you try to move her out that night?
No.
You never told her to get out that night?
Correct.
All right. So he brought out a sledgehammer and hammered her doorknob and let him and his company into her room with trash bags. He began to say he was going to self-give away her cat and start going through all of her things, storing them out. She is very specific. This is, I mean, you can't make this stuff up. This is very specific. Once Divine arrived and called the police, he came into my mother's room asking us to lie to the cops that we personally saw Divine hit him when we were in fact had not witnessed anything like that. He actually locked her out and he had to bang on the door to get her keys she left on the counter. She then went back outside as he stayed in the apartment. He threatened that if we didn't do what he said, that he would evict everyone in the unit. All right, he denies all of that, of course. Do you have any other evidence of that?
Yes, I also have a video from, I think the next day.
How about pictures of any damage?
Oh yeah, I also have a picture of this doorknob.
What page? Okay, I have it on page 7.
Page 7.
All right, and
yeah.
this comports with everything that's said here and everything that you're saying. Reference to the doorknob, I see it. Now let's look at your video.
Okay, so first of all, my bed was lifted off the ground. It was not on the ground like that. It was set up where it stayed up off the ground. That was all the trash bags. That's my cat. He took everything out my drawers. He threw all my stuff into trash bags. That's after I moved everything back in. He took everything out my closet. He went through all my drawers. That's all my stuff everywhere. After he came and ransacked my room, put everything in the living room, I had to move all that stuff back. And it was just a complete mess.
Okay, and sir, do you recognize that room? Have you ever seen it in that condition?
No.
All right.
I saw it prior to her moving in, but...
I said in that condition.
In that condition, no, sir.
Okay, and I don't believe she would do that to her own room. And I don't believe the witness, who is a tenant, would lie.
She's not.
She lives there. When you live there, you're a tenant, sir. That's why you don't know landlord-tenant law. Anybody that lives with you, they are a tenant. Watch when you try to put them out without 30 days notice, even if they don't pay you a dime, zero. If you stay there a significant amount of time, you are a tenant. Learn landlord-tenant law and you won't get hit with a $5,000 judgment for what you did to her. Your claim is dismissed. Yours $5,000 granted for everything she said, she has evidence of, she has a witness statement of, and she has video of. Learn landlord-tenant, mister, before you go into the business.
You look like a Sasquatch and you a liar. You need to find another job.
You always insult the way I look. I don't give a
You're a prostitute
You're a
and I don't
hooker.
care. You need a therapist.
You're welcome. You got $5,000 off of me.
Plaintiff Scott Hall and his wife Ann rented a house from the defendant. And soon after they moved in, she started harassing them and even threatened to burn their house down. They're suing for a rent refund, a security deposit, and harassment. Defendant Megan Matthews says everything was fine with the plaintiffs until Ann posted derogatory comments about Megan online. She's countersuing for defamation and unpaid rent.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you all.
We moved to Missouri in January from Wisconsin. A big decision we made in life. I paid 6 months up front with rent. When we got there in March, she started sending harassment messages and
Let her
vulgar
finish. Don't say a word until
messages.
she's finished, all right? We're not going to do this. I read, and you all have been putting restraining orders against each other, threatening each other and all this. So you're not going to come in here doing all of that, interrupting each other, clowning and fussing and arguing and all of that. Go ahead, ma'am. What were you saying?
So she texted me one night and said she was going to burn the house down.
Let's start with you renting from her and how that went. The agreement you all had, and how was your tenancy from the first few months?
We signed an 18-month lease. We were there 4 months, and she applied for an eviction, but we decided to move due to the harassment and the threats that were coming from her.
When did you move in?
We moved in January 7th.
So in April, you decided to leave?
April 27th, yes, because they said that was the best thing to do instead of going to court.
What had gone on before that, between January and April?
She got kicked out of her place in Jefferson City, so she wanted her place back because she was renting. And then she wanted her own property, which she wouldn't have to pay rent on. She wanted her own property back.
When did she tell you that?
It was actually through a call in March.
She called you in March and said, I'd like to get my property back from you guys.
Yes.
And was there a discussion that there's a lease that would prohibit that?
I did say I had an 18-month lease.
What'd she say?
It was up to her discretion if she wanted to break it.
That's what she told you?
Yes.
All right, and the harassment that caused you to leave, that had to happen between March and April?
Yes.
All right.
March 24th to be exact, sir.
Okay, what started that? Now you can start there.
She wanted to come in the house and look for mold and check the furnace. She was bringing somebody COVID positive into the house. I worked in healthcare and hospice. I said, I'm not allowing it, plain and simple. I even said I would call the police if she tried. She said, go ahead and do that. Nobody's gonna stop me. I did call the police. I did file a report. They said that they couldn't do anything as a civil matter to file for a restraining order. I did do that.
Okay.
The judge told us it was landlord-tenant issues, be adults and go talk about it.
Right.
We walked out of the courtroom and my husband said, let's talk about this. She screamed for the guards. She's like, guards, help me. We didn't even do anything wrong. The guards came running, they told us to leave. My husband said, we will wait for you outside to speak about this. She had the guards escort her out to the car. She went back and filed the same day that we were just dismissed, the restraining order. She filed for one against me and my husband.
Mm-hmm. Saying what?
A restraining order saying we were harassing her.
All right. You have the restraining order there with you today?
I do.
What page is it in my evidence?
Mine that I filed against her is on page 9.
All right, and it should be able to tell me. Yeah, I need to see what the allegations were. And it says he was granted because stalking. All right. Landlord stalking, that's what it says. All right. And was a hearing held after this was filed?
Yes, it was.
In 30 days, and what was determined at that hearing?
They dismissed it due to landlord-tenant. They said we need to work it out, we're adults.
Okay, got it. All right, and then let me allow her to begin her side now. Ma'am?
Yes, I posted my property on Facebook Marketplace. Anne is the one she was somebody who responded to it. So they asked if they could come see the property. Said that they could. They had mentioned that they had housing authority, that they would be transferring in from Wisconsin. Said they wanted to be closer to family. Said they had 2 kids, so that kind of tugged on me because I am a teacher and everything I do revolves around kids. So COVID going around, was not per se excited about using the housing authority because I've heard horror stories about the tenants that they don't, treat your property the best, and you have to really do a good, thorough job of the background check. But I know COVID hit hard, and I know people wanted to be close to their family. So we agreed on the lease. They had paid 6 months, said they could pay 6 months up front until the housing authority could transfer their paperwork. Felt like that was fair, so they paid the 6 months, had not received the paperwork for several months. It was probably April, May when I got the paperwork. Noticed that Anne had called me before I got the paperwork because I actually had to go get the paperwork from them. In the process,
Let me stop
Anne
you there.
had...
Before the paperwork came, had you told them you wanted to live in your property?
No, sir. I work in Jeff City, but I live in Columbia.
Okay, so you never said I just want my property back.
No, sir.
Right, go ahead.
So it started then, took the paperwork home, and had sent a text, which is actually on, I do believe, page 24 of the evidence, saying, hey, can you please let the housing authority know that rent, 24 is when we agreed that they'd be out May 1st. It will be May 1st due to me not lying to you at all. Which was in regards to is the paperwork. She was asking me to file fraudulent paperwork on the housing authority.
Ma'am, did you ask her to file fraudulent
No,
paperwork?
I did not, Your Honor.
Okay, and she refers to a text where it says, it will be May 1st due to me not lying to you at all?
She said that I had 2 dogs there, and I did not have 2 dogs.
All right, so it had nothing to do with the paperwork?
No, it did not, Your Honor.
Okay.
It had to do, they added 2 people actually, so if you see the lease, which is 2, where it says that it was just them and their 2 kids.
Okay, first we were talking about the paperwork for housing.
From the housing,
now
yes.
we're skipping to something else?
Well, no, just so you can refer to that it was just Ann and her husband and her 2 kids and
What
their
does that
dog.
have to do with the paperwork for
Their
the housing?
paperwork, they added 2 people, 2 adults.
On the paperwork?
On the paperwork, yes, sir.
Okay, and you didn't sign on to this, obviously.
I had not. I actually reached out to Ann and Scott and asked them what those 2 individuals were, who were they. I did not agree upon that. They said
So
that
how does that become relevant?
So the lease, and then with Ann asking me, so on page 15, you'll see we are at Housing Authority, and they said we don't qualify for $1,300. So when we fill out the paperwork, will you put $1,000, and we will pay you an extra $300 to you.
All right,
So
that's
we qualify.
what you mean by scamming.
Yes.
Okay.
And so at the time, I did not do my due diligence, and knowing, I told her yes, I would.
Did you do it?
Well, once I got the paperwork, I noticed that there was nowhere on page 5
What was
for
your
me to break it
answer
down.
when they asked you to do it, ma'am? How did you answer that? Did you say, I will?
I said I will because I thought there would be a...
whatever the reason, you agreed to the
Well,
scam.
I thought there would be
let's
a...
not make reference to the scam.
No, I thought there would be a place for me.
You participated in it.
No,
you
sir.
told her yes. She asked
Because I thought there would be a place. I did not do my due diligence, so I thought within the paperwork that I have to fill out as a landlord, I could put, yes, I agree that the housing authority will pay $1,000 and that the tenant would be responsible for the other $300. That was my understanding. Not that I was going to scam. And so if you look at 5, I actually put it in there, $1,000 from housing authority, $300 from tenant. So and so when I was like, that doesn't seem right, so let me call. And then with the 2 extra added names, I called housing authority. I then contacted Ann and Scott, and they said, Scott actually mentioned that housing authority added the names, that nobody even went into the office. And I said, how about we all go down to housing authority to figure this out? This is my first time working with housing authority, and so I'd like to get this settled. So no, I did not agree to fraud.
And so what happened?
Then that's when the harassment, that's when the messages on Facebook saying that I harassed them.
No, in terms of the legal process.
So the legal,
you said, let's go down to the housing authority.
They wouldn't go. They wouldn't go.
So did you give them an eviction? She said you started an eviction process.
I did not. I did not start eviction at that time because we had agreed that they were going to be out at the end of the 6 months.
Okay.
We had agreed upon the date. They had paid for the first 6 months. So at the end of that 6 months, which would have been the end of June.
And so what happened then? Were you satisfied with that response?
I was satisfied with that until I started to get, my mother called, my dad called and said, Megan, what are you doing? And I was like, what are you talking about? There's messages all over. It's a program called Nextdoor.
When?
I want to say it was in about April. It was a program called Nextdoor. It's where you can say local plumbers, this kind of thing. And you can say, if you need a plumber, a babysitter, or whatever. So I find out that Ann had posted stuff on this website.
Asking for what?
Didn't ask me for anything, but then said that I was outside of the house all times of night, calling them cracker and other derogatory marks. First of all, my car is fully
you have
wrapped.
Evidence of that? What
Of
page?
what she posted? I do.
Yes, ma'am.
It's page 41. And
What
so,
did you want to say, ma'am? I'll let you resume.
I did post it because I asked for advice. I said, what do I do? I need help here. We can go and talk
Good
to another
enough. What
person.
happened in June? I'm sticking with facts and not.
She evicted.
that
She
relate
went
to
to
the eviction.
Yeah,
Pardon?
Well, first it started with the text messages and the harassment.
When?
March 24th. It's on page 44, Your Honor.
But you had already told her you were moving?
Yes, in June. I told her I would go in
You
June.
said I'll be leaving in June.
Yes.
So what am I to see on page 44?
She said very rude stuff to me, and this is what made me go beforehand, because on page 45, she threatened to burn the house down with my children in it.
And I will be coming by the house tomorrow with the contractor. We will be there at 5:30.
That was about letting her in with somebody that had COVID.
Nope. Sorry, I will not be here. I'll be at work. I work until 7. And why are you coming? Scott said he would take off work, so someone is here, but I would like to know what you are coming for. Yes, she should tell you that. I'm having someone look at the house. She says, I just have to give 24-hour notice. You don't need to be there. That has nothing to do with you. We will be there at 5:30. It will be like someone is there. She says, I just have to give 24 hours notice. Correct. Rent has nothing to do with me bringing in someone to look at the house. If you would like the police there, that is fine as well. This is what she's saying, in case you're worried. I guess she's saying that she's going to take something or whatever you're worried about. You say, not when she was exposed and in quarantine. Got it. We can get the police involved if you like, but you have every right to be concerned about that. That's fine. You can call the police. This is harassing. Just give me 24 hours notice. That's fine. If you don't wear a mask in that home, didn't ask you to, yeah, you all are fighting over something that is, shouldn't be fought over. You had every right to refuse her on that, ma'am. So good luck. There's no safety issue. You cannot enter. You better go back to school. This is you telling her to go back to school. All right, here go the insults. So first you tell the woman to go back to school, and I don't know what you thought she would say to you. She shouldn't have used a racial slur, but what this appears to say, listen here, you white bee, I am coming in my house whenever I want, and you can keep sending me messages. I will get you for slander. You gonna give a woman a hate speech, and then you go tell her about slander. All right, I don't care if you have any numbers on speed dial. All right, so you're arguing about that. You all have a legitimate argument there. I must give it to you. Ooh, girl, I'm sorry, not ma'am. I'm sorry. Oh, ma'am. I don't mean to call you a
Sir,
girl,
can
but you little white, see? How dare you even post anything that is said to you? Okay, it's because she posted your stuff. You got upset. All right, but you got to stop all this.
But can you read the
I'm
next
telling
one?
you all this name calling, ma'am.
I am half white is what she didn't realize at the time. My mother is white, so I'm half white. So to call her a white this or white that or racial
Yeah, that
slurs,
right, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know.
me said, but if you read,
I don't
like,
know the new rules in that area. I know when you're half and half. I don't know the rules.
Right,
But I
but
know
that
one
would-
rule. If you are the direct opposite, you cannot say that.
Well, no,
And
I
if
did
you
not,
are the
sir.
same, 100% perhaps, or nearly one, majority the same, then yes, white folks can say that to white folks, black folks can say in to black folks. The opposite race can't say that
It was
to each
never
other
said, Your
because
Honor.
if they're saying that to each other, it's in a negative connotation and it's
Absolutely.
degrading them and it's
Absolutely.
trying to hurt them using racial words. So if that's you say the New Deal is that, I don't know.
No.
I
I'm
can't
saying
keep up.
it never happened. So if you look at my page 41,
I just read that it happened. What are you talking about? I read it.
No,
You said it didn't happen. What didn't happen?
She went
What
through an
didn't
app.
happen?
Those messages I didn't send.
Oh, somebody else sent them?
There's an app out that you can actually do that.
You're on
So
a
if
phone
you
record.
So
read,
hold on. So why are you making this explanation?
Because
about
I'm
you? Now
just
be
saying-
quiet and listen, because I don't believe you. I believe you did it, and now I'm about to throw you out. Why are you laughing? It's not funny. Your case is
No, it's
dismissed.
not.
I believe you're lying
not.
about race. I believe you said it.
but no, I said I would never
Talk
say
over me
that
all you
because
want
I
on
am
the way out the
half
door.
white.
Talk
I
on the
would
way out the
never
door.
say
Bye.
that because I
Judgment
am.
for the plaintiff. Have a good day. You're out of here. Your claim is dismissed.
Thank you, sir. No, that they're piece of people, and they know I didn't say that. I was saying that I would never make that comment because I am part white. So somebody that's a scam artist got over again.
Plaintiffs Marcus Williams and his wife Anita Hollins say the defendant is Anita's sister, and the co-defendant is her so-called fiancé. But he's really nothing but a stripper. Anita claims her sister is a belligerent hot mess, and she met her fiancé at a crack house. They're suing for unpaid rent. Defendants Bridget Hollins and her fiancé Janiyah Davis say Anita is fake, and everything she does is to keep up appearances. Bridget claims Anita can't be without a man, so she pays them to stay with her. And they're countersuing for an illegal eviction and unreturned property.
Start with you all.
Well, Your Honor, this is my husband, Marcus. That's my sister, Bridget, and that's her so-called boyfriend, fiance, whatever he is, hashtag stripper, escort, whatever he does.
Your Honor, I don't know. This guy's always broke. And
He ain't doing too much stripping, man, unless it's for free.
Well, the
Go
zoo
ahead.
ain't paying him good
I
enough.
guess the zoo is not paying him enough.
I know Big Bird and Ernie ain't talking over there. It's a bad episode of Sesame Street over there right now.
Big
All
Bird.
Sesame Street straight up out of
You
there.
know what? I would call y'all the clumps, but I'm gonna take that C off. I'm gonna call you lumpy and lumpier and look at the back of your neck.
I know, keep
I bet you
talking.
got more lumps than I got feathers.
call you Latoya, boo.
You need to keep talking. Hey, I think the judge found your edges.
Mr. Patrick over there,
And
needs to step
SpongeBob.
up.
I know he ain't talking about nobody with that head.
Go back to Bubble Land.
Head.
I ain't gotta pay this keep him though.
Look at that body, Your Honor.
I ain't gotta pay him to keep him.
Her feet.
Ain't nobody
her feet
getting
bigger than
paid.
his. I don't know who to
You
do in this
upgraded him.
relationship.
You
Like, cut out.
upgraded him.
Both of them sit down.
Okay,
Both
Barney
of
with
sit
them
down.
purple shoes, Barney. Come on,
That's
cut it
right.
out.
And
Where the
your
rest of your
bra.
outfit?
You left your bra at home today, sir.
Hey,
You
don't
left your
matter
bra.
though. He paid for him, but you paid for his.
You all rehearsed this? Because y'all good.
They came at me.
Hey,
They
good.
came at me.
Don't come for me unless I come for you. That's how.
They came at me. I didn't come here to clown her.
I need one of y'all.
I didn't come here to clown her, but I ain't come here to get it either.
Just
She
saying.
came
Y'all
at me.
boom,
They came
boom,
at me.
But y'all good though. Y'all must do this regularly.
No, they came at me.
Talk about each other like that.
Call it how we see it.
Y'all started it.
Yeah, we don't know what we seeing over there.
That's all right. That's enough personal insults. No more. No more. I was letting you do your thing because it was very entertaining. All right. Give me some background.
Your Honor, I had to take a break from my sister, and this is something that I have to do every year. She's very belligerent and very ignorant. One day,
What way?
Always. She's just a hot mess. Every time we go somewhere, there's an embarrassing situation that occurs. We was at a traffic signal. It was a lady. You could tell she was a hard-working lady. She had her apron on, her name tag, her hat. She just got off work. We were at a stoplight. The light turned green, but the lady was still traveling across the street. My sister felt some type of way and got to calling her names out the window. Told her to get her A out the street. She cracked the door open like she was gonna get out the car, and the lady slowed down and turned back and looked at her. And as soon as she acted like she was getting ready to get out, that lady turned around and said, "Come on," and in 2 seconds threw her hat, her name tag, and her apron off, was getting ready to jump on her. And she thought about it and closed that door, and we pulled off.
Now you know that's a lie. Now you know that's a lie. That's a lie.
Did anything happen that caused you all to take a break?
We take a break
What
every
happened in
year.
this particular instance? I know how it is. I take a break from some friends and family myself. I usually have a reason when I take a break.
Oh, the fact that she owes me an obligation, yes.
All right, the rent, that's
Yes.
what this is. All right, you took a break because of this today. All right, anything you want to tell me, sir,
Yes, Your
about the
Honor.
defendants?
January of this year, sir, my wife, she approached me and asked me, was it okay for her trifling sister and her
Told
fake
you that's
fat
enough of
Dude,
that.
y'all
stripper
ain't even
boyfriend,
married.
to rent the property to him, okay? So against my better judgment, I went ahead and
How much?
agreed. $800 a month, sir. We had a 12-month
Since when
agreement
is
here.
his house? You done gave some property to him? Since when he own a house?
So
His name is
and
on that
the only
property.
You done gave him- you done
the
gave it
only
to him
rent that we
He
received
purchased
was
it, Bobo.
January,
no, he
February,
didn't.
sir.
You put his name
Ma'am,
on
let
there.
me hear from you all.
My sister fake, and everything she do is for appearance. She can't be without a man. The only way she know how to keep him is to pay for him.
That's not true, Your Honor.
She met this man at a corner store.
Always picking up strays.
Was in there
You
buying
met him in
beer.
a crack house.
He was there buying beer,
I was
Your
serving the
Honor.
man.
He was there buying beer, Your Honor. He had just got off of work from working at Minute Man. She
Your
took
Honor,
his butt
I have my
home,
own
Your
business,
Honor.
owner-operator.
She took him
Right every
home,
way.
and he been home with her ever since.
What's wrong with that?
She didn't upgrade him.
How long have you all been together?
She didn't upgrade him.
We've been knowing each other since kindergarten. We've been together for about
Now he
4 years.
acting like
How-
new
how
money.
long?
We've been knowing each other since kindergarten.
But it worked out, man.
She just met him.
However
She
they
just
met, it
met
worked
him.
out.
He ain't have a house, a car.
Let me
Now
hear
he
about
got
the two of you and your sister. What you all keep falling out of? Why she have to keep taking a break from you?
You know what? You know why she taking a break from me? Because I ain't dealing with her bull. Because I ain't dealing with hers and I
She
ain't
said
kissing
she
her
has
butt.
to take a break from you for every now and then.
Don't like me because he's scared I'm gonna get more than he can get.
No, she didn't have to take a break from
That's
you
what
before
it
him.
is.
She's had to take a break
That's
from you
not
all
true,
her
Your
life.
Honor.
I can tell you where you
Me and
talk.
her was really close before
I
he
got
came in the
relatives
picture.
just like you. I got to take a break from.
Oh, no.
I can tell you. You remind me of one of my relatives.
Nah, Your Honor, nah. He ain't own a vehicle
She
or a
always sent her
bicycle.
pit bull pit.
Let own property.
All right, ma'am, that's
While
enough.
they
Leave him
swinging.
alone.
Okay, I'm gonna leave him alone.
She'll leave him alone.
Go ahead now. Do you owe them their money or not? Let's talk about the rent.
Well, I admit. Okay. I admit I owe Fat Month some rent.
6.
Oh, no, boo-boo.
6
Y'all
months,
changed
Your
the locks on me on July 31st, so I wasn't
Right.
staying there August, so how
Y'all
did I owe for August?
you guys have been
Quiet.
moved
That's
out.
your counterclaim is that they changed the locks on you without a court order,
Yep.
ma'am?
Your Honor, I went into the property on July 31st. When I went into the property, there was nothing in there. It was 2 boxes. One contained a box of bras. One was a box of male drawers. It was a kid's mattress in
Well,
there.
then that was something, ma'am. How you gonna say there was
Ain't that
nothing in
kids?
there? The man got his work clothes in there and everything.
Well, at least he trying to bring
As
some
they
money
say,
in. Yours
he's a
ain't doing nothing.
It was a.
He's
It was,
not a stripper, or is he?
I don't know.
Got me caught up in
It
this.
was
I
a-
don't know whether these are work clothes or not, sir. Excuse me if they're not.
It was a twin-size mattress in there. It looked like neither one of them could fit on.
I done told you, and that's
Okay.
enough of that. All right.
But also I observed that they did destroy the property. It was holes in the wall. The carpet was stained. They vandalized the blinds. The doors, I don't know what they
Why do you
did.
see that,
vandalized
ma'am?
blinds.
Where are all these, the property that's destroyed? I see a couple of blinds.
It was Wild Irish rose bottles from the attic onto the basement down all along.
Oh, drink wine, sister.
It was 2 syringes, and when I looked in the kitchen cabinet, it was a crack pipe that was overly used and abused.
Oh, boo, don't try to say nobody a crackhead. Don't do it. Don't hurt
4,000 is
yourself.
based on which month?
It's for March, April, May, June, July, and August.
When did they leave?
She been left out. I had to leave around June.
All right, so how do you conclude they owe for the other months?
Well, she still had a little couple things in there, still had access
When
to
did
the
you
property.
change the locks?
The locks was changed July 31st.
Yet they hadn't totally moved.
And I left a notice right here, a 3-day notice at that time, because she would not respond. She would not answer her phone calls.
Yeah, ma'am, but you have to get a court order to change the locks, or they have to be totally abandoned the property.
Well, she left me this note. She knew she could get back in there. It's just that I was trying
Let's
to get a
see,
response.
how could she get back in there
Check
with
to
the
see if
new
that's my
lock?
signature.
Nita, I appreciate you letting me in the house to get the rest of my. I know I owe you rent, but I told you I didn't get my refund in March, so you didn't. You went for the tax refund.
That she told me.
I didn't get my tax refund in March, but you didn't have to be shady, and your ugly man need to stay out of it and
Wobble,
get some
wobble.
business. Let me know
Don't
a
matter.
good time
Yours
for
just
you.
as big as me.
All right, and however you say you appreciate her letting you in the house to get the rest of your things. That implies that you have all your things. I'm gonna grant you your $4,000 because you evicted them prematurely without a court order. I'm not gonna allow you that last month.
That's great.
And you have your property, as you state. With the illegal eviction, however, you did change the locks, and I am going to give a punitive damage of $1,000 to the defendants for being illegally locked out. Your judgment is $1,000, yours is $4,000. Now, you all take your little time off and then get back together, but you two gentlemen stay out of their business. They've told you this
Oh
is
man,
what
him
they
gonna
do
handle business
all
when we
the
leave
time.
here, though. When we get back to Cleveland, bruh.
That's what's up.
And Latoya knows she
We can
can't
step
see
outside
me.
this courtroom.
Latoya knows she
Step
can't
outside
see
this
me.
courtroom.
No problem.
So
Ain't
now
nothing
I'm
but
gonna have to
opportunity.
call the police about you all threatening each
No,
other.
no, no, no.
Now I gotta call the police. That's
good.
exactly what I have to do. We have to call the police, tell them you all threaten each other. Now you take your chance if you want to, but we have you on record threatening each other. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff, and then you have your counterclaim as well. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Come on, baby.
Nothing but opportunity.
We'll see.
Just chill out.
I already know. You ain't even in my weight class, bruh. You're a lightweight.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
I doubt it.
The only thing
You and them
gonna
soft
beat up
tail.
is- only
You and them
thing
soft
you ain't
tail.
You ain't got nothing to do with them.
So what? He been in everything that you talk about.
You got them
He
soft
been
tail.
in your
Yeah, but
Got
let
them
them
soft
do
tail.
it because they men. Let them
and we. So what's the
No,
difference?
you the only
girl. Bye.
That's what's
Bye, Felicia, to you.